I've spent the last few months traveling across Asia. I've walked the neon streets of Tokyo, explored the ancient temples of Thailand, gotten lost in the chaos of Vietnam, and experienced the precision and efficiency of Singapore. At that point, I thought I had Southeast Asia all figured out. But then I landed in Malaysia, and honestly, I was shocked. I know what you're thinking. Shocked? It's just Malaysia. It's not as hyped as Bali, not as famous as Bangkok, and that's exactly what I thought too. But here's the truth. No one tells you Malaysia might be the best kept secret in Asia. While other countries are busy marketing themselves to the world, Malaysia has quietly built a reality that puts many of its neighbors to shame. I came expecting just another stop on my itinerary, but I left wondering why I hadn't moved here years ago. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you 3 things that make Malaysia stand out from almost every country I visited. And if you're Malaysian, you might just realize that what feels normal to you is actually a dream for the rest of the world. Let's start by breaking the biggest myth. Malaysia is boring. For years, travelers have skipped Malaysia. It doesn't have the wild party reputation of Thailand or the futuristic obsession of Japan. People call it Singapore light or Thailand's quiet neighbor. But after visiting multiple countries, I realized something. Boring is just another word for it actually works. In other places, I dealt with language barriers, weak infrastructure, and constant tourist traps. But in Malaysia, everything just flows. Almost everyone speaks English. Your ride shows up in minutes. The internet works even deep in nature. Malaysia isn't boring. It's effortless. And when you've experienced chaos across different countries, that level of ease is honestly shocking. Then came the moment I realized Malaysia was on a completely different level. I had just come from places where transport meant crowded buses or bikes. Then I landed in Kuala Lumpur. I took the MRT, drove on the North-South Expressway, and suddenly everything felt first class. Malaysia's infrastructure isn't just good for Southeast Asia. It competes with and sometimes beats parts of Europe and even the US. I've spent hours stuck in traffic in other major cities, but in KL, the layered highways and modern rail systems make the city feel futuristic. And here's the crazy part. It's affordable. You can live a high-end lifestyle here on a budget that wouldn't even cover basic rent in cities like Tokyo. I'm talking about a luxury apartment with an infinity pool overlooking the iconic Petronas Twin Towers for the price of a tiny studio in the West. Malaysia has the infrastructure of a developed nation, but barely anyone is talking about it. Now let's talk about the most surprising part. The diversity. You've probably heard the slogan, Malaysia, truly Asia, but until you experience it, you don't really understand it. In many countries, you experience one dominant culture. In Malaysia, you experience the world breakfast, nasi lemak, dim sum, dinner, banana leaf rice, all in one place. You'll see a mosque, a Hindu temple, and a Chinese temple, sometimes on the same street. And somehow it all works. In a world where differences often lead to division, Malaysia feels like a working example of coexistence. And what shocked me most, how normal this is for locals. Finally, let's talk about quality of life. After traveling across Asia, I realized something. Malaysia hits the perfect balance. Singapore is ultra developed but expensive. Vietnam is affordable but still developing. Thailand is exciting but often overwhelming. Malaysia sits right in the middle. You get safety, you get incredible food, you get modern living without the extreme cost. Healthcare, world class and accessible. Safety, walking at night feels comfortable. Daily life, smooth and convenient. This isn't just a travel destination. This is a place you can actually live and thrive. Now, to be fair, Malaysia isn't perfect. I saw the brain drain, talented people leaving for better opportunities. I heard concerns about politics and rising costs. But from an outsider's perspective, Malaysia's problems are what many countries wish they had. Your baseline is already higher than most. The real challenge isn't building something great. It's recognizing that you already have So why did Malaysia shock me? Because I expected a developing country and I found something that feels future ready. I expected a short visit and I found a place that feels like home. Malaysia doesn't need to copy anyone. It's already doing something unique. And the world is slowly starting to notice. To everyone watching, especially Malaysians, be proud of what you have. Because from the outside looking in, it's incredible. But here's the part no one really talks about. Once you see Malaysia for what it truly is, you can't unsee it. Every country I visited after started to feel different. Not worse, just incomplete. Because Malaysia quietly sets a new standard and it does it without trying to impress you. Let me show you something most travelers miss. It's not just the big things like infrastructure or cost of living, it's the small details. The way a late night food stall still serves restaurant quality meals. The way locals switch between languages mid-sentence like it's nothing. The way convenience becomes so normal you stop noticing it until you leave. And suddenly you miss it. I remember one moment clearly. I was sitting in a cafe in Kuala Lumpur looking out at the skyline. Everything felt balanced, not rushed like some global cities, not chaotic like others, just right. And that's when it hit me. Malaysia isn't trying to be the best in one thing. It's quietly becoming one of the best in everything that matters. But here's the twist. That same strength might also be its biggest weakness. Because when something works so well, people stop questioning it. They stop promoting it. They stop realizing how special it actually is. And that's exactly why Malaysia stays underrated. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is starting to catch on. Digital nomads are moving in. Content creators are discovering it. Investors are slowly paying attention again. And once that wave fully hits, Malaysia won't be a hidden gem anymore. So the real question is, how long will it stay this way? Because right now Malaysia feels like a place that's ahead of its time, but still priced like it's not. And that gap, it won't last forever. If you're watching this and you've never been to Malaysia, you might want to rethink your next destination. And if you're Malaysian, you might want to take a second look at what you already have. Because from the outside, this isn't normal. It's rare. And maybe that's the biggest shock of all. Not the buildings, not the prices, not even the diversity, but the fact that a country like this can exist and still be overlooked. If this video changed how you see Malaysia, hit that subscribe button, because I'm not just traveling, I'm uncovering the truth behind places people think they already understand. And trust me, this is just the beginning, But before you click off, there's one last thing you need to understand. This video isn't just about Malaysia. It's about how easily we get things completely wrong. Before I came here, everything I knew about Malaysia came from assumptions, from headlines, from comparisons, from people who had never even been here. And that's the problem. We think we understand places without ever experiencing them. Malaysia forced me to question that. Because if I was this wrong about one country, how many others have I misunderstood? So here's something to think about. What if the places you're ignoring right now are actually better than the ones you're chasing? What if the less popular choice is secretly the smarter one? That's exactly what Malaysia represents. Not the loudest, not the most advertised, but quietly one of the most complete. And maybe that's why it hits different, because there's no expectation, no hype, just reality, and that reality shocks you. Now here's where it gets interesting. This isn't the only country that surprised me. Not even close, because after Malaysia, I went somewhere else that completely flipped my expectations again. Different continent, different culture, even bigger surprise. And honestly, I didn't expect it to top this.